Hello, everyone. My name is Danny. This review is for a movie called A Private War. In a world where journalism is under attack, Marie Colvin is one of the most celebrated war correspondents of our time. Her mission is to show the true cost of war, driving her, along with renowned war photographer Paul Conroy, to embark on the most dangerous assignments of their lives as they journey to the front line of conflicts across the globe. This is a 2018 film. It is rated R. It runs just under 2 hours. It stars Rosamund Pike, Jamie Dornan, Tom Hollander, and it also includes Stanley Tucci. A Private War. I think the most important thing to say about this movie is that it's important. Anybody who follows all the millions of politics movies that we have in our lifetime, there's a million of them. This is up there with the well done ones. Very interesting story, very vital story, very vital historical events, covering wars, Iraq, Syria. And anything you really want to know to make you want to see this movie, you just have to be interested in what has been some of the most important things in this American history of the last 20 years. So, that being said, as vital of a movie as it covers, the vital information that it covers, it's a pretty boring movie and pretty boring story. I'm okay with all of the stuff for her job that they cover in this movie, the main character. I'm okay with everything that they have her do, the things that she has to experience, the mishaps that she has. All that stuff is interesting enough in a movie. And I think where this starts going down is where it starts to try and cover her personal life. And with that comes along with being an alcoholic, smoking, not taking care of herself or not being okay, and her personal life with who she's having as her lover. Two things to the rated R rating. There's a little bit of language here and there, but that's to be expected. These people are in the middle of some of the most insane stuff that you could ever think of somebody would put themselves through. And so that's just fine. That's assumed. The first scene of this movie, I really thought we were going to have a sex scene, and it kind of just went past what you probably know happened. And then later in the movie, it has Rosamund Pike completely naked. It shows her getting into a bathtub, and it's like, okay, it's like the wrong time for an intimate scene. We're having stuff happen here. We don't really need this. It's out of place, and I'm just wondering why they chose to do the film the way they did. This wasn't just a movie about her being in the trenches, and it's obviously not just a movie about somebody's life. So they try and throw some things in, and they try covering the bases, but honestly, I think it would have been a really better movie with taking the personal life stuff out, because it just drags it down. It's not interesting. It's very irrelevant. I mean, we all can tell that she's going through all kinds of depression or post traumatic stuff, and it just needs to be able to cover that stuff. Like handle how she's going to deal with the stress of being over in these countries and almost dying and all this other stuff. We don't need to know about her being at dinner, and we don't need to know about her getting some award. We don't need to know about her trying to talk to her boss about getting her back in the field. It's like, just handle it. Just go on to the next experience. But this really does drag on, being almost 2 hours. I think, obviously, from what I've been saying, that there's a lot of stuff that could have been cut out, and having just the war stuff, I think, would have been for a really nice hour-and-a-half movie. It would have been really interesting and just have the vital information. So there's probably about half an hour of useless material. And when I watch a movie like this, it's like, I don't want to say it's awful, but it's just so boring, and it just drags on and drawn, and it's the same stuff. And really, she becomes a mess. Like, she's just, after her first incident, pretty soon into the beginning of the movie, she just has like the same reactions and the same things to say for the next hour, 10 minutes. And it just drags on, and there's really no other point to this movie, and it all leads up to the ending, which is fine. At least it's a real movie that way. But I have a real problem with Stanley Tucci being in this movie. I've seen him be very many gay characters, and for him to be like a lover is kind of weird with a woman. So, other than that, it's just drags on. I was not wanting to pay attention to what was going on the last third of the movie, and I really just don't think I missed anything. But I was like, wanting to be on my phone. I was wanting to look somewhere else because there was just nothing happening. And that one intimate scene, that's like where it starts. It just goes downhill from there. So the ending is fine. It's based on a true story. You can probably guess what happens. And I'll say this for it, that it's a very big issue that people need to be aware of. You need to be conscious of what's going on in our world. I'm one of those people that doesn't really like to, fill my life with that, but I am aware of what's going on. So I'm glad that movies like this exist to bring awareness, but I also need it to be a little bit of an enjoyable experience, not just an informative, really long, drawn out depiction of a movie of a true story. If that makes any sense to you, I'm going to give this movie a C minus. I really don't want to give it a D because it is a good movie as far as vital information and the war experiences and stuff like that. So it's pretty bad, but I don't think it's the worst I've ever seen. So a C minus for Private War. Thanks a lot, guys. My name's Danny. If you like this or any of my other videos, try and give something to watch. Like and subscribe to my channel if you would. And enjoy your movies. Thanks.